Fanatics. Hey y'all, welcome back to Fanatics. We are in the top five. Top five. It's the final countdown. I gotta stop because I don't know if that's allowed actually. So, number five, the Cincinnati Bengals, and I think that that's no surprise to anybody. It's Joe Burrow. He's awesome. Jamar Chase. He's awesome. It's the Bengals. They went to the Super Bowl 2 years ago, and they were in the AFC Championship game last year. They just have the Chiefs that just keep standing in their way. I guess don't keep standing in their way because they did beat them 1 year. So, I don't really have a lot because I just love Burrow. I think he's phenomenal. I think Jamar Chase is phenomenal. I think Tee Higgins is phenomenal. So I think they are just kind of really, really good, and that's why they're number five. So let's do what we always do. Let's start with the PFF grades, or not the PFF grades, but the PFF predictions. So PFF has them as the 17th best O-line. They have them as the 11th best D-line and the 15th best secondary. That's an eye raise. That's an eyebrow raise because none of those are top 10. So basically what you're saying is we got an average team. We need our skill players to do everything else. So that ain't, you don't like to see that. Granted, PFF, who knows? But I'm kind of right there, especially the secondary. They lost their safeties. So the Bengals are doing, so the Chiefs, for example, they are doing one thing one way and another thing another, right? So they're saying that we want to invest in our core, right? They're like, we want our line to be really good. We want our defensive line to be really good. Let's get the secondary. Let's get the defense right. They got good linebackers. They want that to be good and strong. And then they have Andy Reid, so he'll scheme everything else. So their receivers are Rashid Rice, Justin Ross. I can't even tell you a lot of them. They lost Miko Hardman. They lost Tyreek Hill. What's the other guy's name that they have? That's Sky Moore. They drafted Sky Moore. And they have Travis Kelce, who's kind of pushing his mid-30s right now. But they said, we have Andy Reid, we have Patrick Mahomes. Let's just buy everything else. And the Bengals are doing the opposite. They're saying, we want to pay Burrow and we want to pay Chase. We need to pay our skill players. And it might mean that the rest of the infrastructure suffers. So, it might work out. I don't know. It doesn't usually work out like that. Not usually, but this might be how it works out because obviously they let Jesse Bates go, who is phenomenal safety, probably a top 5 safety in the league. Von Bell go, which I think is probably a top 10, 15 safety in the league. And you lose Eli Apple, who's one of your corners. Who cares? Trey Flowers, one of your corners. Like you lose your entire secondary pretty much. You're relying on a Woozy to be your best corner, I guess. And you got 2 brand new safeties. It don't look that great, but they do pay their defensive line. BJ Hill, I think, just got a contract. Hendrickson, if he hasn't got a contract, he will soon. Their defensive line is very, very good. They might be higher than 11th. 11th sounds about right. And they got Orlando Brown. So I guess they're trying to invest. They haven't been able to get their offensive line right for a few years now, and they've invested a ton of money into it. So I guess they're trying it again with Orlando Brown. Who knows? I don't know. But they are investing in it, I guess. Let's before we go into what happened this year, the new players and all that kind of stuff, let's go to their schedule last year. So they start off, they lose to the Steelers 23 at home, 23-20. They lose at Cowboys 20-17. They beat the Jets 27-12 at Jets. They beat the Dolphins at home 27-15. They lose at Ravens 19-17. They beat the Saints at Saints 30-26. They win at home against the Falcons 35-17. They lose at Browns 32-13. They win against the Panthers at home 42-21. That was the big Joe Mixon game where he went wild. They lose at Steelers again. Is that right? I thought they beat the Steelers the second time. Yeah, they do beat the Steelers. I have it down wrong. They beat the Steelers the second time. Sorry, guys. At Steelers, 37-30. And then they went at Titans. So you know how I don't like the away. Titans were super, super beat up, but they beat them 20-16. They beat the Chiefs again. I think the Chiefs have only beat them one time with Joe Burrow, and that was last year in the playoffs. 27-24. They win at home against the Browns, 23-10. They win at Bucks, 34-23. They win at Patriots, 22-18. The Bills game gets canceled, and then they win at home against the Ravens, 27-16. I think Huntley was playing at that point. So they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wins in a row to end the year. So let's do what we've been doing because we just did it with the Niners. And now that I've seen it, last year was just weird, wasn't it? So many backups and quarterback. So you get. Let's going back. All right, start over, Alex. So you get Falcons, you get Mariota, and then you get Browns, Watson, and then you get Sam Darnold or PJ Washington. PJ Walker. I don't know who was there then. Then you get Kenny Pickett, who just took over. Then you get Tannehill. You get Patrick Mahomes, who's a good player. Then you get Watson again. No, you get Jacoby Brissett the first time. Then you get Watson. You get Brady. You get Mac Jones, and then you get Tyler Huntley. So it's not like a who's who of quarterbacks. But you go 12-4. You're still playing. You still play the schedule in front of you. You still win the games. Nobody's saying anything against that. But they had some help with the schedule last year. So, and they're a freaking good team. I mean, Joe Burrow is a top 5 quarterback in the league. Jamar Chase is a top 5 receiver in the league. My biggest concern with this team is the Tee Higgins contract, because they're going to give Chase an extension first. Then you got the Tee Higgins contract. I don't think you can pay both of them. So Higgins is gone at some point. Now, what do? Do you trade him before the season? Are you setting him up for a franchise tag? Do you just have him unhappy for the entire season? It's gonna be tough mentally for a guy like Tee Higgins if he doesn't get a contract. Also, Tyler Boyd needs a contract. So let's just think of it as logically as we can, right? Is that you have this is the team that went to the AFC Championship game last year, and you have, let's see, so you have Mixon getting pretty old in running back years. You have 2 receivers that need contracts. They're going to free agency next year that you kind of want to make happy. You're introducing a new left tackle. You lose both safeties and some cornerback depth. And you lose Hayden Hurst, who's a very reliable tight end for Irv Smith, who kind of isn't. The Vikings had to trade for somebody else. Brandon Hawkins is a really good player because Irv Smith just didn't work out for him. He wasn't a player. And the Bengals needed somebody cheap to come in because they didn't have a lot of money. So you get worse with Irv Smith. Mixon gets older. You bring in a new left tackle, but your offensive line is still 17th. You lose your whole back end on defense. You get a new secondary coach and Charles Burks. That's a lot of changeover and a lot of losing good players. And a lot of your good players unhappy. So that's my worry. At the same time, man, you got really good you got really good coaches. You got really good players, especially skill players. But man, if Burrow is already dealing with an injury, if Jamar Chase goes down, then you got Tee Higgins that needs to be your number 1 that needs a contract. Yes, and this is all being said, they're my 5th team. I really like the Bengals, but I'm worried. I'm worried that they might need to rebuild, but they're trying to do both at the same time. They got to make a decision about Higgins. That's definitely the number one thing, I think. So, and they're playing a more difficult schedule this year, and that division is my toughest division. I know the AFC East is really tough for a lot of people, and it is really tough. They both of those divisions have my top 18 teams in my power rankings there, but I think that the AFC North is better this year. So let's go through this. I have at Cleveland. I have it as a loss because it's a divisional game. I mostly for this division in general. Everybody pretty much goes 3-3 because they do it basically every year, especially when they're all good. So I pretty much have every team going 3-3. So I have Cleveland beat you last year. They beat you again this year at Cleveland. You beat Baltimore. You gave the Rams Monday Night Football at home. That's a win. I got you losing to Tennessee because you go to Tennessee on a short week because you played Monday Night Football. So I have that as a loss. Then you go at Arizona. You go away, but Arizona's trying to lose. They're not a good team. So I got that as a win. You guys, Seattle at home, and I have that as a loss. I think the reason I had that as a loss because that's something to do with Seattle's schedule. They might be coming off a bye. I wish I would have wrote that down, but I have that as a loss. And you don't have any. Your secondary is depleted. So they got 3 really good receivers. So it's a loss. Then you go on bye. You go at San Francisco. I have it as a win because you have a bye and you have time to prepare. I got you winning at home against Buffalo because they got to come to you, and you crushed them last year in Buffalo in the playoffs. Houston comes to you. I got it as a win. Thursday Night Football at Baltimore. You're going to Baltimore on a short week. Don't like that for you. I got this as a loss. You have 10 days to prepare for Pitt at home. You win that one. Then you have Monday Night Football at Jags. I have that as a win. But now, after we're talking about your secondary, I don't know. But it is Monday Night Football. Burrow's been there. Trevor Lawrence still third-year quarterback. He hasn't played huge games. I guess he won a playoff game, but I think it's a win, even though it's at Jacksonville. Then you got Indy. That's a win at home. Minnesota. That's a win at home. Then you go to Pittsburgh on a short week for a Saturday game. Pittsburgh is going, because I haven't talked about Pittsburgh yet, so you know that I'm going to have Pittsburgh ahead. You get Pittsburgh on a short week at Pittsburgh. I have that as a loss because you're traveling on a short week, division, and you've already beat Pittsburgh this year. So you usually split. You split last year with Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's even better. You split with them again, I think. And at KC, KC's looking for the number 1 seed, and they need it. And you're going to KC, and they figured you out how to beat you. So I had that as a loss. So I got you at 11-6, which is my first wild card team because I have the Pittsburgh Steelers winning the division. Little teaser there, I guess. So Bengals at number 5. And I know we skipped over because I went over them pretty fast about who they got. So let's just say who they brought in. Orlando Brown's a very good left tackle. I wouldn't say elite. Like he's not Trent Williams. He's not Larry Tunsil. He's a good left tackle. He's a pretty good left tackle. Top 10 probably. Probably not top 5, but top 10. You get Nick Scott at safety. He ain't Jesse Bates or Von Bell. And you get Irv Smith replacing Hurst. Doesn't block. It's not gonna help you in that game, which you probably need for your O-line. He's decent. He's a good athlete, decent pass catcher, but is that what you need? Another pass catcher? You got 3 really good ones. So we'll see. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe Drew Sample. You might see a lot of Drew Sample this year. I don't know. They might trade for somebody. So, and then you add Myles Murphy, who I really like at edge. And you are saying something. When I'm saying you, I mean the Bengals are saying something about who they're drafting. And edge can work out right away. So you got Myles Murphy at edge with a already pretty decent D-line. Love that. You get cornerback, DJ Turner. Love that. Can help right away. Jordan Battle at safety. Love that. Can help you right away. And then Charlie Jones, wide receiver. That's probably he's a 5'11". He gets open. So he might take either Higgins or Boyd's role next year, and they just draft him a year ahead. So maybe that's it. It's a pretty good receiver class next year, I believe. So maybe replacing both of them. I don't know. But you're bringing in rookies to replace the Jesse Bates, Von Bell, Eli Apple, and Trey Flowers. You also lose your backup running back and P. Ryan. I like P. I thought P. Ryan was better than what's his name? Joe Mixon. I'm actually looking literally right at his name, and I couldn't figure it out. So now your backup is Travion Williams. I don't know, maybe. But I like P. Ryan a lot, and so does Sean Payton. So he went out and got him. So you lose a pretty good running back that did really well for you last year when Mixon was out, and you lost Hayden Hurst. So you downgrade pretty much at all these positions. So you're playing a harder schedule. Your division's harder. You don't get better really anywhere except left tackle. So it's just, I mean, your defensive line, I guess, because you get Myles Murphy and you already brought everybody else back. You're still good, and you're still a contender. I have you as the third best team in the AFC. So you're right there. You've been there before. You know how to win. You got one of the best defensive coordinators in the league. You got a pretty good coach. You're there. And you got Joe Burrow. I mean, anything would happen with Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is like freaking amazing. He's a good quarterback. He has that it that I can't quantify of that he is just gonna win. He's just gonna win. Yeah, it's like Tom Brady had it. I think Bryce Young has it, but I mean he's rookie, so who knows? But you're just locked on. It's about winning the game. They need to get their ducks in a row with their elite players, or they need to do what the Chiefs did and get a bunch for Tee Higgins, like the Chiefs did with Tyreek Hill. Get a bunch of picks, cap relief, all that good stuff. So that's about all I got. I can't really harp on it too much because you're bringing back basically everyone. So there's not a lot of change. And you were very good last year. You caught some breaks, but maybe you'll catch them again this year. It sucks that you get away as your last two games. You're not getting a lot of favors by your schedule. And then you get a few Monday Night Football games, which puts you on short weeks. So that Monday Night Football game against the Rams into the at Tennessee, where they're going to be very physical. And that's early in the year when they're hopefully will be healthy because they haven't been healthy the last 2 years. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I got you 11-6 and the 5 seed for the wild card. And yeah, all you got to do is get in. Anything can happen during the year. You can pick up bets. You can trade. Myles Murphy might just end up being an absolute stud and just wreck teams like Micah Parsons did when he came on. Who knows? So I don't think so, but we'll see. But that's all I got. So who day is number 5, Cincinnati Bengals. Thanks for listening. Subscribe, comment, do all the things. You know what to do by now. So just do them. And please, thank you so much. And I will see you next time. Okay, bye.